there's a scientific chemical change in the dog's brain.
We've got about 5 to 6 million scent receptor cells, and they've got 300 million, and that is just wow,
amazing. It's amazing, isn't it? Really,
We really underestimate the power of their nose.
Did you know letting your dog sniff on walks is just as important as letting them run? In today's episode, we're exploring why sniffing isn't just a pastime, it's essential for your dog's well-being. Before we jump in, just a quick one. This podcast is brought to you by Tug-E-Nuff. We're all about helping dogs thrive through play, and if you fancy checking out our toys or training tips, just head to Tug-E-Nuff.com. A link to that will be in the show notes. Alright, let's get to it. So in this episode, you'll discover why sniffing supports your dog's mental and emotional well-being, simple ways to add Scentwork into daily life without needing formal training, and fun games that you can use to tap into your dog's natural instinct. Today's guests are Jamie and Gemma Pound from UK Sniffer Dogs, a hugely popular scent detection program designed specifically for pet dogs and their owners. Founded by Jamie in 2018, after years of hands-on training, UK Sniffer Dogs has helped thousands of dogs from nervous rescues to high-energy pups unlock their natural sniffing superpowers. Whether your dog's a professional sniffer or just enjoys a good sniff on walks, today's episode will help you understand why scent matters. So before we get into it, we ask everybody this question. And actually, to be honest, before I ask this question, and I don't know the answer to this, I guess you guys have a dog or dogs?
Yeah, we got four dogs.
Okay, that's cool. Excellent. So this question is asking about, if your dog had a superpower, what would it be? But actually, it'd be great to kind of hear a little bit about all of your dogs and what superpower you think they might have.
We've got a real mixture.
We've got 4 completely different breeds. They've all got their little
Quirks.
Okay. Superpowers.
Yeah.
So they've all got the superpower in their nose, which I'm going to tell you about in today's podcast. But I'll tell you what, I do. Cookie, our bulldog, she's 12 years old. She's the oldest one. She's outlived 2 of our German Shepherds. She's still going. But I think if she had a superpower, and I think she's actually got this, is she could teleport.
Okay.
Because one minute she's snoring on her bed, and then you walk out the room and she's under your feet. Okay. But I also think it would be a useful one for her because she's a right lazy cow if she wants to be. So if she can get somewhere quickly without using effort, that'd do her a favour. Teleporting for Cookie the bulldog. And then we got Nemo the German Shepherd. So he is the biggest dog of the group, but also he's just really sweet. And I think his superpower, if he could, would make himself smaller.
Okay.
which he's really good at doing when he plays with Lily, our little Daxi, because he makes himself so small and lays down on the floor. But also, if he could, he'd love to get on your lap the way Lily does. He's not got much spatial awareness, you see. So if he could make himself smaller in any way, I think that would benefit him.
He thinks
a lot of big dogs, isn't it? A lot of big dogs, they don't think they're big and they're trying to get into that.
And then we got Lily the Daxi, then, who I just mentioned. Lily Dax, she's the youngest of the group. She is just nuts. So it's got to be like super speed for her. She's got the littlest legs going, but she runs everywhere she goes. There's no walking involved. I can see her
wearing a cape as well. She'd look really cool wearing a cape. And then we've got Hallie. She's our Chinese Changdong hound.
Okay.
So not many people have heard of them. Not many people have ever seen one.
Me neither.
They're actually a dying breed. Okay. They're an ancient breed, and they're a pure breed. Everyone says to me, "Oh, what's she mixed with?" And she's no mix. She's a pure breed. So she's super special. Rarer than the giant panda. So yeah, they're really, really rare. They have a really long life expectancy.
Okay.
So that could be
a superpower. She could go on forever.
Just like Benjamin Button type thing.
So we just get straight into it. I mean, can you explain why sniffing is so important for dogs and what it actually does for their well-being?
It's naturally reinforcing for dogs. Dogs will find it intrinsically rewarding participating in that activity, let's say. So it's so good for them mentally, but it helps build confidence in nervous dogs. It helps sort of reset those excitable, revved up, over aroused dogs, but also dogs that are injured can participate in it. So it's a great mental activity. And any dog, like we say all the time, any dog can do it, and they will all benefit from it, mentally or physically. But also creating that you're talking the dog's language when you're playing nose work. That's how I say it to people. So you're engaging with them in something that they want to do, and you're talking their language.
Yeah. The benefits are kind of endless, aren't they? That, you know, there's not a single dog that wouldn't benefit from doing some form of scent activity.
Yeah.
We had a question actually on one of our Instagram posts. We said, you know, scent detection, it builds a bond between the owner, it builds confidence in nervous dogs, it lowers arousal in reactive dogs. And someone said, that's great, but how? So, you know,
I said it's magic.
It's magic. So, but without going kind of like too sciencey, you know, there's been studies done, and there's a scientific chemical change in the dog's brain when they are partaking in scent activities. It releases happy endorphins. So it's kind of a bit of a natural high for the dogs. It makes them feel good. You know, the list is endless as to the benefits for scent detection, really.
Yeah, and about creating that bond, people say, why does it create that bond? Well, if we expose our dogs to, because this particular question was about rescue dogs and rehoming a new dog, and using scent to create that bond and create that trust. And the answer behind it is we're going to expose those dogs to things that they may be scared of, and find as a negative experience. And if you're part of that, when they first know you, you know, you're taking the dog to this scary place, then they're going to attach that association to you.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're providing the dog this scent game that actually, one, makes them feel good and they enjoy, they're going to link that to you, which again helps build that bond and trust.
It's all about that positive association, isn't it? And I think one thing actually we maybe take a little step back further again in terms of when we're talking about nose work, what kind of things are we actually talking about? I think that'd be really useful for somebody that's listening to this, never considered it, heard of it. So it'd be great to kind of get that basis, I guess, really.
I mean, it's as simple as there is different dog sports that you can do with your dog involving scent training. So we teach scent detection, and we also teach tracking, which are two completely different, let's say, sport disciplines or operational jobs for dogs. But we can engage in scent games with food and toys with our dogs, and just using different little games that involve food and toys, motivating and encouraging the use of the dog's nose is a great way forward to for their everyday life, really, as a routine thing, not just initially creating the bond. It's not something that should stop. It should be something that is in their routine daily, for life, really.
Yeah.
And even like out on walks, you know, I think a lot of people have heard people saying, let them sniff.
Yeah.
You know, incorporating that out into your walks, rather than kind of going to the local park with a ball chucker and just standing there chucking the ball. You know, that's raising their adrenaline. You're just going to make them stronger, fitter, more high energy. Whereas, you know, allowing them to actually sniff it, not only is it enjoyable for them, it also helps them take in their environment.
Yeah.
So again, you know, the dog's nose is so powerful. They can tell who has been in that area previously. They can tell whether they were male, whether they were female, you know, young, old. They can tell whether they were fit, healthy. So there's so much they can take in from just sniffing that lamppost.
Yeah.
So, you know, just making sure that you are allowing your dog that opportunity out on your walks as well.
And it's criminal if we do not exercise that nose, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah. Do you think that that sometimes we can, as owners, or guardians, we can find that annoying? But it's like, why don't you just get on with your walk? But actually, rather than kind of understanding what they're doing, I think this is really important. Understanding what's going on when they're sniffing that lamppost, rather than it being something that you think is is something that they shouldn't be doing. It's actually something that is beneficial for them.
The problem is dog training for so long has been really emphasized on obedience. So sit, stay, come, walk nicely on the lead. And the emphasis has fallen off of what these dogs are naturally bred to do and what they enjoy doing and what they need for their mental welfare. And these obedience behaviors are important in everyday life, but as you said earlier, if we discourage the dog using their nose, they're going to attach that to us. Okay, he's no fun because he stops my games every time. He's no fun because he keeps turning the telly off. So it's for us as owners, we need to emphasize our training more on meeting our dog's needs, and behavior issues will generally start to disappear because we're fulfilling those dogs' needs, which is a massive part of that. And letting your dog sniff is, like Gemma said, is like them reading the newspaper. So they've got to have that outlet. And if you stop that by participating in scent games with your dog, it's going to benefit engagement. It's going to benefit recall because, one, you're not stopping the game, you're encouraging the game. Two, if you're even participating in it, in games like we teach within UK Sniffer Dogs, you're going to be the keeper of the key to that game, meaning you get more engagement out of your dog.
So what happens when dogs don't get enough sniff time or scent-based enrichment?
They go self-employed.
they'll find a job.
That harks back a little bit to that conversation that we just had, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
They'll find a job and it might not be as productive, let's say, to you as an owner. Because if you don't let them sniff, you don't engage in the scent games, they're going to find it elsewhere. Which could then lead them into other issues. But you're going to see more behaviour problems within dogs. And we said earlier on that dogs find this intrinsically rewarding. And if you think about working dogs, so herding, hunting dogs, they don't necessarily get rewarded straight away for their actions. The reward, they may benefit from food scraps or something like that, but they don't necessarily get rewarded for each specific element of natural hunting and herding. The game is reinforcing to the dog, being able to practice that. Take that dog out of that farm and put it into a flat in the middle of London, and you've removed that natural ability to express those behaviours, and then you're going to start hitting on the dog herding buses, herding things that it shouldn't be, because it's going to find other ways of getting the outlet, and it will be negative towards their behaviour, I'd say, within a pet dog home.
And I guess this really does answer this question, in terms of people underestimating the power of a dog's nose. Do you think that happens?
Yeah, massively. I even still do it.
Okay.
I think probably the classic is people thinking that their dog needs to go right up to a dog to sniff its butt to get to know. No, they already have gathered all their information about one another from miles away.
You can probably tell us what how many more times sensitive their smell is than ours. You probably know that off by heart.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got about 5 to 6 million scent receptor cells, and they've got 300 million, up to 300 million. So work out a percentage of that, I can't, but they have got so much more. They're gifted in a way that we wouldn't even be able to even imagine replicating.
And I think that's kind of quite. You're right. That is unimaginable. How on earth that would. For us as humans, if being able to have that ability, how that would be for us, it would be overwhelming. But actually, they've evolved to harness that for all these different things they've been bred for.
And the one of the best analogies I think I've heard is the New York one. So so if you compare, because we're quite visual as a species, human, if you compare our sight to dog's scent, what we could see at a third of a mile, the dog could see 3,000 miles away. and that's sort of like London to New York. So we're not saying a dog can sniff what's going on in New York right now, but in a comparison between sight and scent, what you can see at a third of a mile, the dog could see or smell with its nose 3,000 miles away. And that is just wow for me, really.
That is.
Or another one that we use quite a lot is they can smell a quarter of a teaspoon of sugar within an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Wow. Yeah, and like some people have sugar in their tea, and you'll smell whether you got sugar in your tea. And we can't. Some people can, some people can't.
Also, one of the other things to remember about their sense of smell is, again, this is a bit of an analogy, but if we were to walk into a room and someone was cooking pasta sauce, we would smell the pasta sauce.
Yeah.
Whereas the dogs, they would be able to smell each individual ingredient. So the garlic, the onion, the tomato. So not only is their sense of smell strong, it's also really refined as well. Yeah.
And there's so many things, like going back to your question a second ago about us finding sniffing annoying as an owner. Sometimes there's also things that our dogs do that like we think are disgusting, and actually it's really good. And it's like if you're looking at a picture and I don't know, you zoom in on it, there might be a moment within that dog's whatever they're sniffing right now where they want to zoom in, and they might lick at it and use their taste, let's say, but they're not. They've got an organ within the roof of their mouth, which is used for detecting pheromones. So they've got two olfactory systems. You've got the main olfactory system up in the dog's nose, which goes up and is processed in the brain. But you've also got the organ in the roof of the mouth. So that's why your dogs lick at other dogs' wee. And maybe sometimes they might taste a little bit of poo before they walk off, because they can pick up on pheromones. And I liken it to dogs being able to detect ghosts, because with this particular organ, they can detect pheromones with dogs or in locations that were previously there. So they can detect the past, let's call it. And this happens quite a lot in the vets. So the dog will go into the vets and he's absolutely fine for the first couple of visits, never had an issue there. But the dog that was in there before him on his third visit had quite a bad experience. Now, dogs will give off pheromones then, and as a survival technique in the wild, let's say, that would be there to let their mates know that this is a bad place to be. I've had a bad experience here. So the next dog comes along and he smells in that bad environment. Oh, the last person here didn't have a good experience. I need to get out of here. And that happens so much in the vets. In everyday life, we say, well, he was fine last time, but maybe the dog before him has given off pheromones or ghosts that the dog can detect.
That's fascinating. I didn't even consider anything like that and that's amazing. It's amazing, isn't it? Really.
It's mad.
Yeah, we really underestimate the power of their nose.
Okay, so for owners who are listening who aren't trainers, but they want to find some easy ways they can bring Scentwork into their dog's daily life, what can you advise that they can do or give a go?
So first of all, I mean, the simple one is removing the bowl and engaging with your food in some scent games.
Yeah.
So simple one is simply scatter feeding your dog some days. Some days, making them work for that little bit of food. Using things like your snuffle mats, things like that, engaging the nose whilst they're feeding. But we've got on our website 12 free scent games that you can do with your dog at home with food or toys.
Okay.
So using food or toys to motivate the dog to hunt in a certain way. And there's different games you can do, from a simple little one, which is which hand, where we'll have a treat in one hand and the dog's got to sniff each hand and tell us which one it's in. Nice, simple one. To some more advanced games where the dogs are actually hunting for a toy and looking for it that's hidden out in a more difficult environment, let's say. So absolutely, there's so many different ways you can activate it, but definitely check out the 12 free scent exercises, because and I'm not saying every exercise is for every dog. Some may suit some may suit others, or different locations. But the beauty of Scentwork itself is all the exercises I've given on the 12 free exercises can be set up within 3 minutes and done within 3 minutes quite easily. And the the dogs don't need that much of it as well. So when we're talking about putting it into their daily routine, we are thinking minutes here. We're not talking hours. So some people get worried. I mean, my sister has been doing the 12 free scent exercises with her dog she rescued from the Dogs Trust last week, the first week of the dog being here. And she sent me every single video, and I wanted to put a little video together for her. And as you do for your socials, you want to get all that footage down to 1 minute 30 seconds. Yeah. Well, over 7 days of training, and the videos of her sending me, there was 35 minutes of training, and that's over 7 days. And the effect it has had on that dog transitioning to the new home, decompressing out of the kennel environment has been amazing. So we're not talking do it for hours. It can be done in minutes.
Really
and it does, like you say, what do we say all the time? 10 minutes to sniffing is sort of like the equivalent of an hour's walk in terms of mental stimulation. So they don't need much of it at all.
No. I think that's also like a really important take home for dog owners. We lead really busy lives, and I know as a dog owner sometimes that guilt of I haven't taken them for that hour-long walk today, I feel really bad. Like, scent detection kind of takes that guilt away, because it's something that you can do at home, and it really doesn't need to be done for very long, like Jamie said. So I'm sure everyone can spare their dog 10-15 minutes a day. So it's taking that pressure off of owners. And I'm not saying don't walk your dog, like that's not what I'm saying.
No.
But sometimes life does get in the way. So rather than not walking your dog and not doing anything, crack out some scent games. That would be so good, and then it takes that pressure off of them. But also you get dogs that will not go out in the rain. They hate it, and we live in England, and that's really hard. So it's an activity that you can do for those dogs as well. It could be as simple as getting an old towel, scatter some food in it, roll it up, and let your dog dig and sniff and snuffle to try and get to those treats. You don't need a lot of equipment. Like, you can all you have to use is your imagination. Something that we come across quite often is people, they'll say, I've got a bulldog, she won't be able to do it. Or I've
boxers we've had that have been some of the greatest.
Yeah.
And the brachiocephalic breeds aren't going to have as many scent receptor cells or not be as advanced in how that nose is, but they're absolutely still better at it than us and still got tons more scent receptor cells than us.
And more importantly, they still enjoy sniffing,
and it's still going to benefit.
And I think that's really key. It's about there are obviously advanced things that you can do in terms of scent work, but actually, as you said, every dog's going to use those senses. So actually, it's about how you engage them. And yes, you may not want may not go down the route of, I don't know, some kind of scent sport that you were talking about, but you need to engage that and give those dogs that outlet to be able to use that sense.
That's it. That's how our whole company ethos is. Our logo, it literally says every dog can do it.
Yeah.
And it's because...
And we look to improve the dogs' lives.
Yeah, we do scent detection to improve behaviours, but the quality of the dogs' lives, making sure they get that mental stimulation. We're not doing it for operational purposes. The operational guys, they do a fantastic job. Yeah. We leave that to them. We're about getting pet dogs and enriching their lives. So,
and with it, as well as UK Sniffer Dogs, we do we run Jamie Pound dog training as well, which does group classes, one-to-ones, things like that. And I'd say the majority of my one-to-one sessions, whether it's reactivity or recall issues or certain things that are going on with the dog that the owners want to fix, it normally is down to not giving the dog the right outlets. And if we change the dog's routine and put in certain things which involve the dog being able to express these natural behaviours, the behaviours tend to disappear.
Yeah.
So I normally recommend, once we've had that one-to-one, that they join our UK Sniffer Dogs classes. And they're like, what? Join your UK Sniffer Dogs classes to benefit my dog's recall? Yeah, absolutely, because your dog is bred for this specific purpose. It wants to do it. Yeah. If you don't embrace that and enjoy it and partake with your dog, you're going to be Mr. Boring. Yeah. And the bushes and the rabbits and everything else that is ticking that natural, that natural instinct and ticking those boxes for the dogs is going to be more engaging. So absolutely, it'll benefit your recall. And most of the time, they come along and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe how good my dog's been since we've started engaging in this." So, from a ethos point of view, it is about using it to benefit dogs' behaviour and make them feel good. But we can use it to our benefits if you're clever about it.
So we'll definitely pop a link to those games. Was it an ebook? Did you say, or
it's a digital. It's a online course. Let's call it. So it's a free online course made up of 12 videos where they can follow. There's a different exercise in each video.
They're only short. They're short little
exercises. 3 minutes to set up and do. And yeah, food and toys to motivate the dogs, and it can be done anywhere. There might be a few little bits of kit that you might want to get, but most of the stuff you've got lying around your house that you can use.
You can improvise.
And you can improvise, yeah, absolutely.
We'll pop a link to that in the show notes, alongside our Tug-E-Nuff ebook on games that you can play with some of our toys. And one of our toys would be really great for looking at some of those games that you mentioned is our clam, where you can hide those treats inside. And I use it with one of my dogs, because as you mentioned, some dogs don't like going out in the rain, and my dog Tiddly hates going out in the rain. He won't go out. So sometimes I'll hide that. I'll put some treats in the clam. I should have had one here to show, but and hide that around the house and get him to find it. But it's the same similar types of things, really. It's using his it's giving them a natural outlet, isn't it, for those instincts. And it's one of the things that I say to a lot of people will say to us when it comes to playing chase games with our chaser toys, is that not just going to encourage my dog to chase a rabbit or a deer or something? But actually your dog's going to do that anyway, probably. So if you can just give it an outlet,
that's it, in
a controlled environment, then actually
you've got the bunny rabbit in your pocket that way.
Yeah.
I think something that Jamie says quite often to people that are struggling with recall is, rather than your dog going out and finding their entertainment within the environment, you are the source of the entertainment. So therefore you are a part of the game, so you're quite vital to them, so they want to hang around you.
The key piece of concept to understand actually is around that you want to be where the fun is, not chasing other things off in the distance.
Absolutely.
And we've got a really great blog actually on that whole process, that whole 4-step thing. We'll put a link to, so people can read a bit more about that. I can't remember what it is, stalk, chase, all that.
That's it. Yeah, there's a lot more parts to it. I think there's 8 parts to the full predatory motor pattern.
Predatory motor pattern,
But the 4 main parts that I talk to pet dog owners about is the scent, the chase, the bite, and the kill, and how we can engage and use that within our training to benefit the dog's behaviour.
So, have you seen any particular success stories where Scentwork has transformed a dog's behaviour or life, or?
Thousands.
Absolutely. Week in, week out, we have just wow moments within the scent classes, and the beauty of it is the owners noticing it when they come up to us and go, "Oh my god, you'll never believe this week," or Frankie was reactive for dogs and people.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a German Shepherd.
Our
first German Shepherd.
Yeah, he was a tricky dog, very tricky dog. I wouldn't be sat here as a dog trainer if we didn't have him now, because he made me learn more. When playing scent, we saw so many huge changes in his behaviour when we started engaging in scent activities, and it was detection and tracking is what we did with him.
Okay.
Tracking, I'd say by far was his favourite. You could tell how much he loved it, and it was intrinsically rewarding for him. But Scentwork was also one of the favourites, and I sort of preferred that because it was easier for me to set up. I could do it anywhere, and it could be done in minutes. But there was a huge change in his behaviour, not only to people but also to other dogs. Roll on a couple of years down the line, I was in the middle of you might laugh at me now, but I was in the middle of a village hall with him off lead around about 6 or 7 other dogs doing heel work to music. And I would have never, the dog that I could not take to the park when there were other dogs about, or we were scanning the environment before we even let him out the van. yeah, just the unpredictability in him, but giving him the predictable game of Scentwork into his routine, where he recognised the game, and then we took that game to different environments and put him around other triggers, and it all just become part of the game. So yeah, Frankie was the huge start to UK Sniffer Dogs, and huge start to my career as a dog trainer. I've got a 3-legged staffy in classes at the minute, Nala. She's been with us for about 6 months now, and she was reactive to dogs and other people. She's now working closer to other dogs. This week, she was looking like she wanted to engage and was getting all playful in her behaviour towards Jessie, the Jack Russell, who's also a reactive dog, who has now made select few doggy mates within the class. So not only has the dog built trust in the environment, they've also now built trust in a few dogs. And we've not done anything in particular to say, let's get these 2 dogs to meet. It's just happened organically through the class because the dog trusts being in that environment.
And I guess that's probably, for people looking on the outside, just thinking, well, how is this helping these dogs get that outcome? I guess it is about building that trust, isn't it, around where they are, the people and dogs around them, by doing something that is changing the way that their brain is thinking. I guess it'd be really interesting because I know that me looking at this now, I'm thinking, okay, so what is actually going on there to change those outcomes?
Well, I mean, going back to the 4 things we were just talking about: scent, chase, bite, and kill. Yeah. Now, they not only do the dogs find it reinforcing, it's also going to affect their brain, like you just said.
Yeah.
And the way I describe it to pet dog owners is that scent, the first part and the last part here that we're talking about, the scent and the kill, they find it reinforcing, but it's also calming. Yeah. Okay, it brings the arousal levels down. Whereas chasing and biting pump the arousal levels up. And we know with children and dogs that if they are aroused and the arousal level is up, someone's likely to get hurt, or there's going to be bad behaviour involved. Dogs are going to do something maybe silly in the environment because they're pumped. Whereas scent will bring the dog back down. So there's a right place and a right time for each element, because from a recall point of view, when you say come, you want your dog bombing back to you as quick as you can with a pump chase. So a chase and bite reward for the dog would be a good idea in that situation. But I don't know, you want the dog to settle in the house and calm down, bring that arousal level back down. Some dogs are good at self-regulating, and when they play with other dogs, sometimes one will stop and go off and have a sniff, and that sort of slows the play down. Some dogs are not great at self-regulating, and we need to help, and we can do that by, okay, right, you're getting a little bit lively now. Let's get you working that nose to bring you back down a bit, and just get the 2 cups out and play the 2-cup game where we pop a treat under one and we swap the 2 cups around, and they just got to use their brain. Rather than reward your dog to the mouth, drop the treat on the floor. Yeah. And let them sniff it and then pick it up. And I use that a lot in my reactivity training. When we're first starting it off, never really do we reward the dog to the mouth. We might reward the dog, but we're going to chuck it on the floor for the dog to find, to encourage bringing the nose down in presence of that other dog.
I've learned so much actually just from this chat with you guys today. Definitely. So if there's one thing that you want owners to take away about their dog's sniffing needs, what would that be?
Don't see it as a battle. Embrace it and enjoy it. See it as fun. Have fun with it. That's the best thing for it, and that's what we specialise in with UK Sniffer Dogs. Is we want to make it fun, but not only for the dogs, for the owners. Because if we have fun doing it, then we're going to do it more. So make it fun, and it should be fun. It's not serious. This is the thing. Take the seriousness out of it. Yeah, there's a serious side to Scentwork, which is your operational world where the dogs have got a job to do and it could be life or death situation. We're not talking about that. We're talking about if it goes wrong, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it just enjoy it, really.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Okay, so thank you for being with us today. If people want to find out more about UK Sniffer Dogs, or you both, where can they go to find information about you?
Absolutely. Well, we've got www.uksnifferdogs.com. Awesome. On there, you'll find the 12 free scent exercises, which is a free online course. We've also got further online courses that you can do as a pet dog owner, but we've got courses for dog trainers as well. So
Okay.
there's dog trainers out there looking to add the UK Sniffer Dogs program to their business, then they can train to do that. We've got instructors around the country. Find a local instructor with our directory where you can pop in your postcode and take your dog along to competitions, workshops, trials, classes, whichever it is may be. Highly recommend it. And on our general socials, so Instagram and Facebook, UK Sniffer Dogs.
Well, thanks, Jamie and Gemma, for sharing your insights. It's been really fascinating, and I've learned a lot today, actually, about how scent and sniffing is so important for our dog's well-being. So I really encourage you guys to take a bit of time out today and get a sniffing game going with your dog, and definitely download or go to the resource that Jamie and Gemma mentioned. So if you're ready to bring some more scent-based fun into your dog's life, then head to Tug-E-Nuff.com, where you can find the clam that we mentioned in the episode, and also some more enrichment tips. We've got a blog with some simple Scentwork games that you can try, which will pop a link in the show notes. And don't forget to check out UK Sniffer Dogs to learn more about their courses, events and resources. Again, we'll pop that link in the show notes. Until next time, happy tugging.